Hello, lovely people. Today I wanted to share something with you that took me a really long time in my life to figure out, and I'm going to give you that knowledge for free. In front of me there are 3 jars, and these jars represent the ideas in your mind. Except instead of having them all loosey-goosey, we're going to separate them into 3 categories, and I'll explain why later. The first category is reality. Reality represents the things that are, and the state that they exist, and these things are true for everybody. There's 3 attributes that you need to have in order for something to fit into this category. The first one is that it has to correspond with human reason and human intelligence. The second one is that it has to be objectively verified by reputable sources. And the third one is it has to be the same for all people. That means it has to be true for everyone. There's none of this my truth and your truth nonsense in this jar. Okay? The second one is spirituality. Spirituality represents, a person's connection with their meaning and their purpose. Different aspects of spirituality can include things like your meaning or your purpose, or your values, or the connections you have with, your friends or family or others, your connection you have with your environment, or even the connection you have with yourself. And then there's the third jar. We'll talk about the third jar later. Now, when you hear a claim, you have to decide which one of these jars it goes in. Simple, right? So when we do this, first we need to take that claim and decide if it belongs in the reality jar. Is it something that corresponds with human intelligence? Is it something that can be objectively verified? And is it true for everyone? If not, then we can check to see if it goes into the spirituality jar. Meaning, does it give you purpose? Does it give you connection with others, or does it give you connection with your environment? Does it install some sort of worthy value in you? Okay? And then there's a third jar, doesn't match the other 2. There's a reason why I did that. We'll get into that again, like I said, a little bit later. To the side of me over here, I have several strips of paper. Each of them have a different claim, a different assertion, if you will. And we decide which one of these 3 jars it goes into. Okay? It's really simple. I'm making this really simple on purpose, so if you feel like I'm being dumb, I'm sorry, but I wanted to make this as simple to understand as possible. So here's our first assertion. 20% of the Earth's oxygen is produced by the Amazon rainforest. Now, does this go in the reality jar? Yeah, it does, because this is an objective fact, and it's true for everyone. So, I probably should have opened these jars before, but I didn't do that. Second assertion is, there's a supreme being watching over us. Does this go in the reality jar? Not really, because we can't objectively verify that a supreme power exists. Can it go in the spirituality jar? Yeah, we can, because a lot of people get a source of purpose, they get values, and they also get connections with their environment and other people with this idea. So this is perfectly fine to put in the spirituality jar. There we go. I'll just open this one now while I'm thinking about it. Alright, so next one. The Eiffel Tower is 15 centimeters taller in the summer than it is in the winter. Can this go in the reality jar? Indeed it can, because it is a scientific fact, believe it or not. That is objectively verified, and it's true for everyone, regardless of who you are. Here's the next one. This is a tricky one. The Bible is the inerrant word of God. Does this go in the reality jar? No, it does not, because we can't objectively verify that God exists, and we also can't objectively verify that God authored the Bible, if indeed he does exist. Now, do we put it in the spirituality jar? It may be tempting to say yes, but here's the trouble with that. You don't need this. This doesn't give. You're probably wondering what this jar is. This jar is a tricky jar. And the people who know about this jar and understand this jar are able to use it against you to devastating effect. So you need to know about this jar to protect yourself. what people are doing out there. When you go to church, or when you watch these woke TikTokers spouting out things that they call facts, they're presenting these ideas as if they belong in one of these jars, but they actually belong in this jar. In this jar right here, when things go in this jar, it can be really hard to tell which jar they're in. You don't know if it's in this jar or this jar, but you certainly don't think it's in this jar. So all these things, they get jumbled up in your mind to the point where you can't tell fact from fiction. And you'll start believing whatever it is that they want you to believe. Have you figured out what the jar is yet? I'll give you some hints. When people say that you need to free your mind, these are the shackles. When people say you need to wake up, this is what's keeping you asleep. The only way to get out of this, the only way to free your mind, the only way to wake up is to start taking these out, analyzing them one at a time. Ask yourself, is this a fact? Am I really getting anything out of this? Do I need this to be a spiritual person? Is this what a God would really want for me? Who wants this to be true? Why in the hell would I believe this? This jar. This jar is called doctrine. The stuff they put in this jar, that's indoctrination. The process of taking this out, that's called deconstruction. Do you see it yet? You starting to get it? And while we're on the subject, here's an interesting little tidbit for you. Here's why atheism is not a religion. When atheism makes claims, they want you to analyze for yourself where these go. It doesn't matter who's saying it. It doesn't matter if another atheist is saying it. It doesn't even matter if I'm saying it. I still want you to question what I said. So here's my challenge to you. Try this out. Look in that jar. See what's really going on. See if you can wake up. Until then, if you need help with any of it, find your local atheist or humanist or secularist friend. If you don't have one, you can DM me, leave comments. I don't care. I'll try to help in any way that I can. But until then, happy deconstructing.